Hey guys, Adam here from Switch Indie Fix, and I just wanted to give you a brief intro to the episode because it's one of our bumper episodes that we've ever had. Had 3 guests on, and unfortunately, one of our guests' audio is kind of I don't know, it didn't record properly. So Paul from SwitchedOn, his audio, it seems a bit clipped. Where I don't know, when I got all of the audio files in from the other guys, his was half an hour shorter than everyone else's. So a lot of his answers and responses, I basically had to edit and kind of like try to get them to fit into what we were saying. So yeah, I just want to kind of say sorry for that because yeah, it's a little bit annoying, but I did my best to try and get it to make sense for you guys and try to get Paul in on the conversation because he had a lot of great things to say. And also as you know, if you listen to the show, my mic seems to always decide to just break whenever it wants to, which happened whilst we were recording, as you'll hear in the show. And it basically, my recording, what I used to record was basically switching between my mic and my built-in mic on my Mac. So there are sections where I might sound quieter than others, but that's because it basically picked up my mic audio. But nevertheless, I think this is a really great episode. It was definitely fun to record it with the guys and have a conversation. And yeah, I hope you all are going to enjoy it. So yeah, have fun. 27 of the Switch Indie Fix podcast, a podcast dedicated to everything indie on the Nintendo Switch. And boy, do I have a treat for you this week. We have not 1, not 2, but 3 huge guests joining me this week, and they're here to talk about their experiences at EGX Rezzed, which, if you don't know what that is, I think it's the UK's biggest gaming convention. First up, returning to the show for the second time and calling out indie devs left, right, and centre on YouTube for selling insubstantial games is YouTuber Paul from SwitchedOn.
Yeah.
Paul,
Hiya.
How the hell are you doing?
Yeah, not so bad, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, very good. Very excited to have you back on the show. Everyone seemed to enjoy you last time with you and Darth on.
Good stuff. Yeah, good to be back. Thanks for inviting me back.
No problem. And our second guest, they come as a pair. They're our first will they, won't they couple ever on the show. It's our seasoned veteran, even though I don't think he's been on for about 15 shows now, which is quite amazing. It's Age of Boredom. Age, Stevie, how are you doing?
I'm pretty good. And to answer that question, not will they, won't they, we did.
Oh, they did. And we're here to get the dirt on the EGX story. And his partner in crime, and his first time ever on the show. It's at BenjiCon from the Switched Island. Ben, how are you doing?
Hello. Yeah, good, mate. Good to be here. Good to appear on one of my favourite podcasts. It's a bit of a treat.
That's very nice of you to say. Yeah, it was awesome. It was cool being on the Switch Island, being on Mario and Smario last week, and it's a joy to have you on here too.
Commiserations for that as well, by the way, Adam.
Yeah, you know.
Spoilers! I've only watched half of it.
Oh.
Well, you call yourself a fan?
Well, fan of some of the hosts.
Some of them, yeah.
We'll let you work out which ones.
Only the episodes you're on.
Those ones are great.
Yeah, those ones are average at best. I remember when you said baguettes weren't the best bread. That one kind of lost you a lot of points in my book.
It's not the best bread; it's the worst bread. But still.
All right, let's talk about this another time. So, guys, in this week's episode, we will be talking about, like I said, mostly about EGX Rezzed, but we also have some indie news to talk about, mostly about Super Meat Boy, Moonlighter, Sniper Elite V2, and Super Rare Games. Just a gentle reminder, guys, we do need your questions for the podcast. So if you do have any indie game related questions or Nintendo related questions or any questions for any of our upcoming guests, just send them to switchindiefix.com/SIF podcast, and you can fill in the Google form there. Plus, if you're looking for a fun gaming community to join, why not check out the Switch Indie Fix Discord server, like all of our guests are already a big part of. If you do want to join and come and talk to us, head over to switchindiefix.com/Discord to join. Now, let's get on with section 1 of the show, which, as always, is the news. Today, there are 4 items on the list. Does anyone know what that is?
It's
one
half
more
a
than
baker's
3.
dozen.
Half a baker's dozen. Nice.
He played the game. I decided to be.
Yeah.
Go on then. What were you going to say?
1 more than 3. Whey. It's been a long day, all right?
Oh, great. Thanks. This is going to be a great podcast then.
Yeah, can we just wrap this up?
Yeah. So, episode 1. News story number 1 is Switch. can't speak. Is Super Meat Boy Forever is delayed, but it shouldn't be too long. Yeah, I'm just warning you guys. I've had like 2 sips of beer, so this podcast could go anywhere tonight.
It's getting a bit leery.
Yeah.
I really did not think you would be the first one to swear out of all of us, Adam.
Yeah, well, I'm nervous, I've got 3 guests on. I don't know how to deal with it. I might have to edit it out, but we'll see if I remember. So yeah, Super Meat Boy Forever is delayed. Just as I actually posted my Best Games of April post, then Team Meat came out and announced that they would unfortunately be delaying Super Meat Boy Forever, and it will be coming not too far after April 2019. The reason being that the devs do not want to risk their mind, bodies and social lives by crunching to get the game finished by the end of this month. In an official statement, Team Meat said, we've been knocking out the last bits of Super Meat Boy Forever at record speed whilst keeping a healthy and substantial pace. We are going to keep that pace, which means we will not hit our April 2019 release. Sorry about that. Yeah. We could have sacrificed our minds, bodies and social lives to make up for 2019, but that's stupid. Team Meat isn't some studio owned by an evil asterisk corporation that has say over what we do and how we do it. We are fortunate enough to have control over how we work, and we choose not to run ourselves into the ground. So guys, I'm going to open it up to the floor. What do you think of this delay?
I enjoyed
a decent reason.
I enjoyed that the corporation had the initials E and A. Evil, well, hash.
EA, yeah.
Ah, well spotted.
I wondered where they could be alluding to, or who they could be alluding to.
Yeah, good on them. That's really refreshing to hear. I think it's, these are people at the end of the day trying to do a job and trying to give us the best product that they can. So yeah, fair enough. That's nice to hear. Take your time, boys.
I mean,
take your time.
To play the devil's advocate here, slightly disrespectful of your blog post. So,
I know. That's kind of the first thing I thought. Well, what happened first was Hob got announced for like the start of April.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right. And then Hellbear's Tenuous Sacrifice got announced for 11th of April, and then this got pushed out of April. So I was like, oh well, the blog post is messed up anyway, so whatever.
Yeah. But no, it's weird though. I wonder, with these press releases and things, you always have to wonder, is what they're saying true, or is there a problem? Are they not happy with the game? Well, they're obviously not happy with it, otherwise they would have put it out. But is there... Because I don't know about you guys, but I feel a little bit like this looks like something they're making deliberately to go after the mobile market.
Really?
Yeah, it feels like it's mobile friendly because it's more like an endless runner, isn't it, than the original?
Yeah, they've changed the mechanics to be, like an endless runner.
I don't know. I mean, I've got like misgivings about whether it's going to be well received or not, so maybe they're a bit nervous about that, but I don't know. That's just a hunch, just a conspiracy theory. I may be wrong.
It's quite interesting about how they crunch, and the studio was a nightmare to work in, so it's, they've kind of gone there.
Well, I think that's it. I think they seem to have gotten like a lot of goodwill about this announcement on Twitter. Like they kind of, I saw that they came out and said, oh, we were like overwhelmed at how positive the reaction was, because they were expecting it to be bad after the Anthem announcement. But I think it's most people, like especially me, like I like openness when you get it from from any developer. When you hear they don't want to crunch, like they don't want to spend 12 hours a day grinding to get this game finished. Like they just want to have a normal job, and they have like a lot of money. Like I'm sure the money's not an issue. Like they don't need to get this game out by the end of April. Like I think it's self-published, so I think it's fair play to them.
Good on them.
Maybe you're right. Yeah, maybe they are trying to tweak it for a mobile audience, but
I don't know. That's just a hunch, but I think fair enough, and we would rather be informed than be left in the dark. It's the same with the Metroid 4 stuff with Nintendo. They got a lot of goodwill. Obviously, people are going to be disappointed, but you'd rather know than just be left hanging for God knows how long. So
for years and years, and that's when people get angry.
Exactly. Go Team Meat. That's what I say.
Yeah. Awesome. So then story number 2 actually comes from Benjigon. He gave me a heads up on this. It is Moonlighter hits 500,000 copies sold and announces the Between Dimensions DLC. Digital Sun and 11-Bit Games are celebrating a huge milestone of 500,000 copies sold of their game Moonlighter on all platforms. To celebrate, they announced the Between Dimensions DLC. Set for summer 2019, the DLC will make Moonlighter more exciting than ever by adding new monsters, a new dungeon, new gear, trick weapons, which are never before seen weapons that give your player a special power. And to celebrate, the game is currently on sale on the European eShop for a massive 33% off. Any of you guys fans of Moonlighter?
It's in the backlog.
Yeah, okay.
It's another one. But also, I can't take full credit for this story. It was actually Keith, the newest member of Switch Island, who told me about this one. So full credit goes to him. Just want to give him a shout out.
Cool.
But,
well, thanks, Keith.
But yeah, a lot of the guys have played it. I know Mike from Switch Island. That was his indie game of the year last year.
Really?
I think Dan bought it last week, and yeah, I've got it as well. It's one. It's you should be playing it. You've heard enough good things about it, but no, I haven't actually jumped into it myself.
Yeah.
But will do
I
at some point.
Go on, Paul.
2 or 3 really good decent ideas, but they just they're not fully committed sort of thing.
Is it great? Is it kind of greater than some of its parts though? Does the fact that
yeah, I don't know, but it hasn't gripped me yet. So
it's kind of a bit like a jack of all trades, master of none, I guess. Right. Like I think I played it and I beat the first dungeon and then got onto the second one and got kind of taken away from it. And like I do like it, but it's
lacking something in it.
I don't know, like you said, Ben. It's kind of like you have to I think you have to spend a lot of time with it as well, because there's so much like the roguelike element to it, and you just have to keep replaying it and like grinding away to get better loot and better armor. But I think people that like those type of games love it because it does have like a loop, and I guess the selling your own items is kind of like a quirky mechanic. Like you said, Paul, it might not be executed in the best way, but it's something a bit different, I think. So, story number 3, and I think by now you can kind of tell that it was a slow news week, is Sniper Elite V2 Remastered is coming to the Nintendo Switch. Rebellion confirmed earlier this week that their iconic Sniper Elite series will be gracing the Nintendo Switch later this year. Sniper Elite V2 Remastered will be getting a digital and physical release on the Switch on May 14th, 2019, costing $34.99 or £29.99. The remastered version will bring beautifully updated environments, characters, weapons and vehicles, modernized rendering and post-processing effects, enhanced texturing and level geometry, a revamped lighting system and more. In addition to these visual updates, Sniper Elite V2 Remastered introduced a brand new frame-by-frame photo mode for people that like taking screenshots, 7 new playable characters from Rebellion's Zombie Army series, up to 8 player online, and the additional content, all additional content ever released for the game. This is kind of, I feel like Sniper Elite's a bit of like a blast from the past. Like I remember watching Let's Play series of it when I was at like uni back in 2013, I think, and I never played the game, so I think I might be tempted to have a go, try it out.
Yeah, I think this was at Rezzed, wasn't it?
Yeah, can you remember what you I can't remember if you said it or I said it. One of us said something when we walked past the Sniper Elite stand.
Well, I don't remember what that was.
I remember.
Go on, what was it?
We walked past it, and I honestly can't remember which one of us said it, so it probably was me.
Okay.
Or it was definitely Ben. We walked past it. It was like, have you ever played Sniper Elite? And the conversation was like, no. Yeah, it always kind of looked like one of those like really shit FPSs.
Oh, now I remember that conversation. Yeah.
But we both agreed. So whoever said that
was right.
The other one
we were both bang on.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I guess it's like one of the, I guess you'd call it like an A minor game or an A game. Like they're trying to go for these like great realistic graphics, but it doesn't quite hit it. But I think it's kind of like I kind of like it because it has like a puzzle aspect to it. So you have to kind of like do the stealth and spot the enemies and then try and take them out. You can take them out stealthily, or you can just go in with a machine gun and pick them apart. Right. But yeah, I don't know how well that's gonna kind of translate onto the Switch. Like if it's these kind of big levels and people are playing in handheld mode and your character's gonna be like this big and you're trying to snipe someone whose head is like a pinprick on the little screen. It might be a bit of a challenge, but yeah,
I don't think we've had like a precision first-person shooter on the Switch, have we? They've all been like Doom, Wolfenstein, even like Rico. They're all quite getting
pray and spray.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually spoke to the devs at EGX about this. I had a bit of time with them. Ports now, so like they've kind of considered themselves port specialists. So they've like tried to get in a lot of like Switch features. So like when you go into sniping mode, you get the motion controls. Cool. So you can like fine tune stuff, and they've got like a dynamic resolution as well. So they've tried to keep like frame rate up. Well, they've assured me the frame rate's at least 30 at all times. But they're using like dynamic scaling. So yeah, they seem really good guys, and they're confident it's going to be performing good.
Nice. And when did I say it was coming out? 14th of May. Yeah, I saw the other consoles that were getting like a 4K HDR remaster, but obviously we're not going to get that on the Switch.
I mean, it's good that we're getting stuff like this, though, right? Yeah, it's like
a
little bit
sort of mature games.
Exactly. More of that. Yeah. More variety for everyone.
I'm looking at their back catalogue of games they've made, and literally the last game of theirs I played was Alien vs Predator in 1999. Which is their 5th game they published or developed.
So we can the listeners can kind of age you there then, if you were playing that in 1999,
I may have played it early 2000s.
It must have been an 18+ game, so you must be an old man.
But then if he played it when he was 5, that would kind of explain how he is now. So.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
So he might...
He just sounds older than he is.
Yeah.
They've got like a crazy back catalogue. So then a few years later, they made a PGA Golf Tour on the Game Boy Advance. Very similar game.
Mm-hmm.
And then literally the next game was Judge Dredd, which is Dredd versus Death.
I mean, you can see the link there. If you play those two back to back, you can really see the DNA between the two of them.
Yeah.
They did do some stuff on the Delta Force series. I played a few Delta Forces back in the 90s on the PC.
And right now, isn't there like new game I think it's all Satisfactory, and it's kind of like a. Do you know Factorio? It's like this like massive industrial management simulator. So like to go from Goat Simulator to then this, it's kind of again they seem to jump around the genres a lot, which is kind of interesting, I guess.
Yeah.
Good. So then one that I know Age of Boredom might be a bit more interested in because of his new video. One story is our 4th story, and that is Super Rare Games announced a slew of new indies getting physical releases. Adding to their impressive catalogue, Super Rare Games announced this week that they will be making 6 new physical editions of indie games. First up was Joe Denver's Lone Wolf, which you can pre-order right now. Then they announced all together, they announced these 5. They are Rive Ultimate Edition, Tokitori and Tokitori 2 Plus, The Dark Side Detective, Earthlock, and Wolverblade. So any of you guys big physical collectors?
No.
No, me neither.
But we do love Super Rare games. We had them on Desert Island cartridges. We had George from Super Rare, and we met with him on Saturday, had a good old chat with him. I cracked a very bad joke about Joe Denver's Lone Wolf being John Denver's Lone Wolf, and he kind of looked at me like, shut up, that's the 50th time I've heard that, you idiot.
I enjoyed that joke. However, I just didn't want to laugh. I didn't want to lose face.
Yeah.
No one's thought of that before.
Well, it's nice to know that someone enjoyed it, even though they didn't show me at the time. Thank you. But yeah, all these games, I've played Wolverblade. I've got Rive. I've heard good things about Earthlock. Yeah, I mean, they're all pretty quality as far as...
Yeah.
Does anyone think these like physical releases are getting a bit much? Maybe bundle a few bits in, but now it just seems like every sort of poor indie... I don't say poor indie game, that sounds a bit harsh. But you know what I mean? Like, the lesser indie games, they're getting chucked out by just because they know collectors are going to buy them. But then once you see they've got them in the palm of their hand,
exactly. If
so,
that's what
they know if they keep releasing any indie game,
if the
they can stick it on a cartridge, and it's gone away from like what the core, what the core idea was.
Yep. So
we
pretty amazing business
games.
model. Right, what should we call ours? Come on, we've got limited run, we've got super rare. What should we call it?
Oh no, we'll just start making games. Pongs.
That'd be much easier.
Pap.
But yeah, Wolverblade. You guys played that?
No, I've not played any of those.
No.
I keep meaning to buy Rise, but I never got round to it. But yeah,
I've
played any of those.
I've beat Wolverblade. Like I had to do it on easy mode though. It's pretty hard. Like if you're not into brawlers, then it's a really hard game.
Yeah, that's one game you don't want to have on physical, because then when you throw your Switch into the lake, you can't get it back. Like you can just buy a new Switch and then re-download the games, but that cartridge is gone.
Yes, it's even rarer at the bottom of the lake. But like you were saying, Paul, I'm kind of like I feel like every day there's a new announcement. Not so much with Super Rare, but like limited edition. Because Super Rare, I guess they focus more on Switch games, but limited edition, like every day there's a new announcement, and I kind of think, I guess they're still made them in a limited quantity, but like that, I always thought that was part of the appeal, was that these games are rare and it only happens 3 or 4 times a year. But I guess both they see how well they sell, and developers and publishers see how well they sell, so they want to make partnerships, and like you said, people are like, you see these like hashtag Switch Corps. Like, and there's people with like 180 Switch games on there, and you're just thinking, if people want to buy them, then why not make them?
Sure.
I'm going to actually use that hashtag. I've seen that Sushi Strikers, not an indie game, Sushi Strikers is on sale for like $10 at the moment on the physical version of it, and it's like 30 or 40 quid on the eShop. So I might actually buy the physical version, and then I'm going to post an image on Twitter with the hashtag Switch Corps just to show off my collection of 2 physical games.
We should just take it back. We should just take it back and just take pictures of our digital libraries. Just take a picture of an SD card.
Yeah.
Yes, take ownership of that hashtag.
Here you go. I've got a little Pelican case. This is great podcasting. Oh, look at that. Look at all those SD cards in there.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Again, the humble brag.
Oh. My
Right, let's do that. Let's take over that hashtag. That would be quite funny.
Yeah, we should.
Apologies to any physical
shout. We'll just all post our.
This is when everyone's channels and podcasts is like loses tens of listeners. Oh god, we're really gonna.
Actually,
Adam's gonna get all the blame for this.
Boredom. You did. You bought a
this
super rare game while we were at EGX Rezzed, right?
I did actually, but I did buy one.
It was. Did you do it just to look
They
cool?
said it was the last copy. They said it was the last one they had.
And then they sold another one.
There was a guy looking at this copy for like 20 minutes before you get here. You better buy it quick.
Yeah. Oh, he's going to be back. He said he'll be back in 5.
He said he's just nipping to
if you pay me a tenner extra, you can have it. Yeah.
So I gave him 20 quid extra. It cost me 80 quid. That was Breath of the Wild.
It was Wii Sports. Wasn't it?
The CD doesn't fit the Switch. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing wrong.
This new thing is for the Switch Pro when it comes out.
No, it was Switch Indie Fix approved Adventure Pals. So.
Adventure Pals,
yeah,
great game.
Awesome game.
I've got it on my PC, but I felt bad for playing it on it, so I feel less bad now.
Adventure Pals that was the first game I saw of super rare. Was I might consider actually buying this, but I never did got around to it. But
the instruction book is really nice.
Yeah,
I will actually say that is
it
is really really cool. The actual manual is really cool.
Well, you're breaking up a bit.
Yeah,
you having to edit it.
I don't know if anyone else. I can't really hear you.
I blame Adam's internet.
It's not me. We can all talk to each other. It's you.
What was saying? The manual is pretty nice. So.
Pretty rubbish. I think you said there. I missed it.
Pretty rubbish. It's terrible.
How badly are you talking about super rare games?
God, Just back off.
Nah.
No, they were lovely. They were lovely. We had a nice little chat about North London as well, you know, because we're all Londonites.
Well,
so.
Yep.
I'm a bit further north, but yeah.
Well, not you. I mean, the people in the conversation.
Okay.
I mean, excluding you. But no, one of my favorite things on Twitter at the moment, and like, it's just when you see a game is released physical, and then it's just a code in a box. And then people like go crazy, and it's like Michael Jackson popcorn gif.
Yeah.
And you just follow the threads, and it's
just the nerd rage. Just watching it unfold is amazing.
Dude, you don't have to buy it.
Yeah.
You don't have to buy it. Also, you're only buying physical things so that you can show off your shelf of physical things. Yeah. No one's going to know.
But then you get loads of Instagram followers and loads of likes. Like, you know, you just have endless content.
I'm just going to buy a load of. Just get a load of clear plastic cases and like
print them out.
Put some card in it. I'll just Photoshop it.
Maybe that's what we should do. That could be our business model. We don't actually produce any games. We just print off the flyers and sell the plastic boxes.
Oh, that would be so amazing.
People will just buy them
rare boxes.
To have, like, you know, oh, look how many physical games I buy. I'm a real gamer.
Hilarious. Do you know what? If we'd have done this podcast like a month ago, that would have been the best April Fools ever.
That would have been a good, well,
it would have been so good. Pretend to your pretentious friends that you've got a massive game collection.
Hey, drop my beer.
Oh, you sworn again there, Adam.
He's gone right to there.
He's gone off the rails.
Anyhow,
we're losing listeners.
Well, there wasn't
we're
many
insulting
anyway,
people on Twitter.
Bastian has unsubscribed. Nah. He's not happy with that.
Right, Daft's next.
Yeah.
Right, I really hate platformers. Let's get rid of him.
2D platformers.
So let's move on. The last story, I know I said there's 4, there's actually 5, I can't count, is an indie Star Wars game. It's coming to the Switch, but it's it's a pinball game. So Zen Studios has revealed it will be giving the Nintendo Switch its very first taste of Star Wars action in the form of Star Wars Pinball. The game will feature 19 tables for you to enjoy, has features exclusive to the Switch, and will even benefit from a physical release for anyone who loves to collect new games for their shelf. So yeah.
When you say physical, do you actually just mean you get sent 19 pinball?
That would be pretty awesome if you did.
That's going to really mess up your shelf, though, isn't it?
But again, you can show off to your friends, like, look how much space I've got taken up to physical games. I have 19 pinball machines.
Yeah, but
I've got a whole warehouse.
Yeah.
People are annoyed about the Darksiders with the black sleeve. Imagine how they're going to be when you've got to fit a pinball machine on there now, mate.
Yeah. Well, you push them all together, you can just have them as your bed, and then, you know, you can live underneath them. It'd be alright.
Awesome.
It'd be alright. In the middle of the night, though, you'll just hit like multiple and it'll go mental.
Yeah, it'll be like a disco boom.
What the hell?
Use the force. Yeah, brilliant.
So yeah, I kind of put this story in again because it was a bit of a slow news week, and we were kind of discussing in the Switch Indifix Discord, which you can join if you go to switchindifix.com/Discord, whether or not this could be classed as an indie game, because Star Wars is obviously the least indie of IPs, and you know there's these weird franchising rights to do with EA, but it's made by Zen Studios, and we kind of worked out that the Zen Studios licenses the pinball machines, like the actual physical pinball machines to put in the game, so it doesn't go through EA or something. So,
nice.
Yeah, it's kind of a problem I always have when there's games that I really want to. Not really want to, but what I'm interested in playing. But I'm kind of like, is it an indie game? Can I get away with reviewing this?
If it don't go through EA, it must go through Disney, surely, and that's even worse.
Yeah. But this is the conversation, because the IP is obviously not indie, but the studio is independent. The studio that makes it is independently owned and publishes them. So, yeah,
I say indie, definitely.
Good.
It's an odd one though as well, because like Zen are kind of like the top player in that genre as well, aren't they? They're kind of like
the Zen pinball,
duty for pinball, right?
Yeah, it's like all of these games that pop up are all Zen pinball, whatever number it is or whatever year it is, kind of thing. But yeah, I'm not that interested in the pinball, but I kind of think it might be cool to check out a Star Wars game on the Switch.
Yeah.
And just rounding up the news, we have some tidbits. What actually got announced today. The first one is lightning fast bullet hell platformer Hell is Other Demons will launch on April 18th, which is next week. And a really fun looking game that I saw. It's kind of a fun game to play maybe with friends. Is Super Blood Hockey is due out on April 26th. And it's basically a hockey arcade game. But it's like no holds barred, so there's no rules. You can start fights, you can like wipe people out. I think there's like some RPG aspects to it where you have to go work out to upgrade your strength stat and stuff like that, and it helps out in the game. So if you're a
sounds pretty realistic.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Although I think is that the one where you get if you lose you get executed?
It could be. I don't know. I just saw the.
I'm pretty sure I've seen that.
Sounds pretty realistic to me.
Yeah, I mean, hockey is a serious game. But the other one, Hell is Other Demons, looks cool as well. I don't know if you guys have seen that on the PC, but it's got that kind of two-tone colour.
It reminded me a bit of Axiom Verge.
Well, I looked at it. I sort of looked at the trailer before the podcast, and I thought, really don't fancy that. And then I thought, well, I'm only putting off because of the look of it. And then I realised how much I like Downwell.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Picked up again. It's one of the best games on the Switch. It's like, well, you can't just write it off because it looks so.
Exactly that, and I think that look is just quite in vogue at the moment.
Yeah, it's kind of
Downwellian look. I'm gonna coin that phrase.
Yeah, hashtag Downwellian.
Yeah.
Right here, exactly.
Coming up with some good hashtags.
I call it.
I like it.
It looks like something off the Spectrum.
Say it again.
It looks like it's off the Spectrum.
Yeah.
Say it again.
Once more.
Type it in the chat. Just type it in the chat.
The Spectrum. Off the Spectrum.
Yeah,
it does.
With feeling.
Yeah, it's got that.
You're British. You know what that is. Don't pretend you're American.
Yeah, we can't bloody hear you, mate.
Oh, we heard it. It looks like. Say it again. It looks like. I just kept cutting out the important part.
Honestly, this stutter of yours really impacts on the quality of these podcasts.
Shut your mouth.
He's doing his best. Leave him alone. Good. So let's get on to the meat of the section, which is section 2, our conversation portion. This week, I have the 3 guests on to talk about their experiences at EGX Rezzed. We wanted to hear about what they saw and what they played because I unfortunately couldn't go. But I really wanted to because it looked like a lot of fun. So, Paul, let's start with you. You said you have been playing. Can we start with Hyper Parasite because we have a question about it too. So, what were your initial thoughts?
Well, I was a bit of a weird story. I was just wandering around looking like what to play next, and this like strange little guy come and grabbed me, and he said basically kidnapped to come and test it out, and I was like, okay. I didn't really know a lot about it.
Are you sure he was a game developer?
Yeah.
He took me down this dark alleyway.
This joystick feels fleshy.
So no, it's really good.
Cool. So we have a question from Vag, and he asked, I saw Hyper Parasite shown at EGX Rezzed. It's a game I desperately wanted to play on my Switch, but it looks like it will be released later this year. So he basically asked, did any of us play it here, there? Yes, Paul did. And do you think it looks, is it cool? Is it fun to play?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I played in co-op. I don't know how good it'd be solo, but yeah, it's really good. It's like a twin stick shooter, top-down shooter. Shooter. You start off as like this blob. You can't really do anything. In one hit, you get killed. But if you get close enough to any of the other characters on the map, their brains and take them over. And I think there were 60 different sorts of characters. So like, on the level we was quite urban and stuff. And when you infect one of them, you take over all their abilities as well. So like the fireman could throw axes, and the police had guns. Take on there's like these boss fights, but they're all based on like 80s film characters. They're all like not correct. And then you can take them over as well. So you can like play a level as Rocky or Terminator, or it was really cool. So yeah, summer or something they said, but it looked pretty finished to me. So
yeah, actually, now that I think about it, the devs in our Discord, can you remember him? Boredom, like I've forgotten his name, but he was in the Discord and he was showing us, he sent some links about it. Now that you say about the 80s vibe, I was like, that sounds like a game that I've seen before, and I think it is this one, which is pretty cool. So
I think that was when I was on holiday. I wasn't.
Yeah, it was. It was quite a while ago.
I did just Google Hyperparasite,
Yeah.
and I put a space in it, and I saw some grim, dark stuff. So
Okay.
Check your spelling. If
Your
Google it.
your audio's cutting out. I don't know if you want to drop off and then jump back in.
Should we put a pause in?
Maybe.
Let's put a pause in. Can we put a pause in the recording?
Hang on, just keep going. Just keep going. I'll just drop.
All right.
Drop off
Yeah.
the call.
So maybe Ben, whilst he's gone, do you want to chat a little bit about SteamWorld Quest? Because I think all three of you played it there. So.
Yeah, we did. I played the first 5-10 minutes of the tutorial, which was I mean, it's beautiful. Image and form
quality.
It's just going to be pure quality. It's pretty much the closest to a AAA game you can get from an indie.
Yeah.
It just feels they've just got everything down. The writing, the gameplay mechanics, everything just feels completely on point. Graphics look like a step up from Dig 2 as well, which already was a gorgeous game. I mean, I'm really excited about that one. I'm looking forward to reviewing it for Switch Island as well, and giving my full thoughts. But to start with, very, very good first impression. I don't know, Paul, if your experience with it was the same.
Yeah, very much so. Like you say, it just feels like ultra polished, doesn't it, already? In everything. I mean, that was a really nice polished game, but this is they've got bigger characters and more sort of ambitious audio and stuff. So,
yeah. What I was quite surprised, like from seeing gameplay, is that I still assume, like, I know it's going to be card based, but I was quite surprised that there's no platform in it, because I feel like the SteamWorld Dig and SteamWorld Heist, like there was always kind of like verticality to their levels. There's always like some forms of platforming, and what I've seen so far, it looks a bit more like what's it called, Darkest Dungeon, where you like move in from room to room and battle to battle like that.
Yeah, from the demo, that's what it was like, pretty much. Like you could move up or down or left or right, but
it was completely lost your audio there, mate.
Really?
Yeah, we got that.
Yeah. We got the F word. That was it.
So, so we were talking about SteamWorld Quest, and Age, what did you think? We heard a bit from Paul, a bit from Ben. I know you. You were kind of.
I've been getting. I've been getting pretty hyped for this, and so I kind of wanted to start playing some card games like in preparation. So I picked up Slay the Spire on PC at the start of last week, just to kind of get my head around like card-based games again. And that game's like pretty like technical and like pretty tough. So then actually when I played the SteamWorld demo, that actually made it seem like really simple. But we was only playing the demos like literally, I think like the first chapter. It was like very early on in the game.
Yeah, it was right at the start, I think.
Yeah, because I only had like 2 of the 3 characters when the bit I played, and it's like a lot more kind of like pared back and simple. Like you can play 3 cards each turn, and some cards give you like cogs.
Yeah.
Which is like
kind of like a mana, I guess.
Like a resource. Yeah. You build that up, and then you have some other cards that like require that, and then they're generally like more powerful. So you want to use a combination of cards that build that up and then reduce it and do a lot of damage. So yeah, the actual like mechanic was really, really nice. It was like simple, but also just like really quick and easy to learn. And the game's like a lot less brutal than like Slay the Spire, which is obviously like a rogue.
Yeah.
So that's gonna obviously want to like rub your face in the dirt a little bit, whereas SteamWorld a much more friendlier experience. But yeah, I was super into it.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, really promising, I think.
Yeah, it's it's definitely different from them. And like I said, I was surprised that it doesn't have like, or at least the bits I've seen so far, it doesn't have any platform in it. But do you think like from what you played, the cards are like, you said they're easier than Slay the Spire? Do you think they're more accessible to like someone who's not played a card game before?
Yeah, I think so, because like Slay the Spire gets pretty technical quite quick, right? So you play that game for like 30 minutes, and then you're getting some more like the advanced cards, and you kind of have to like, if you're not really kind of like that into card games, or if you don't really know like Magic or like Hearthstone or that kind of thing, then I imagine like kind of getting to grips with that Slay Spire would like be quite difficult. Whereas SteamWorld seems like so much easier just to kind of like get into at the base level.
Yeah, it tells you everything that you need to know. It's I haven't really played a card-based game, and that, even just it's far from the ideal setting to learn how to play a game. You're surrounded by noise and people, and there's a rep talking to you at the same time. But even in that environment, it was quite easy to pick up. So I think playing it at home is going to be very easy to just pick it up and learn and enjoy, hopefully.
Yeah. Cool.
I don't know if is anyone else reviewing it at all.
Yeah, I think we all are. I think we've all got codes, so that's pretty handy.
Can you hear me now?
You're still a bit choppy.
Say.
Got that. Basically, if you can just swear, we can hear everything you say.
Awesome. So, Paul, why don't you tell us a bit about Indivisible, which was another game you said you see?
There weren't many people that had Switch games out, to be honest. So I was just hunting for anything that had like a Pro controller on a desk, and that sort of caught my eye. And it's like beautiful. It's like I don't know, Ni no Kuni or something like that on the PlayStation. It's like really beautiful cartoony graphics. So it's like kind of this RPG,
nice
2D platformer, really nice graphics and stuff. And it was very sort of martial arty or sort of Indian magical mystical lore sort of thing. But yeah.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
This was,
same guys as Bloodstained, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Did you guys play it? Did you see that when you were there?
We saw it, but I didn't actually clock it was a Switch game.
No, me neither.
I did think the stand looked really, really like the artwork on the stand looked amazing.
Yeah, the backdrop was nice.
But I never. Yeah, we were just kind of looking at the Bloodstained stand because we knew going into the show that we wanted to check that out. So. We kind of, I just thought it was like a Steam game.
I suppose they weren't closer together. It was kind of like they was quite separated, weren't they? Considering they're both from the same publisher.
Yeah, sort of opposite sides of the room in a way, weren't they? It was, weird.
But was the Bloodstained not with like the Nintendo? Oh no, I guess not. Right, it wasn't with the Nintendo section.
No.
The copy of Bloodstained we actually played for the PC
version.
Okay. So tell us a bit about Bloodstained then, Stevie. Now that we can hear you.
Bloodstained. Well, I kind of thought going in, it's just going to be like another Metroidvania, right? Like we've got like about 60,000 Metroidvanias on the Switch now, so there's probably like even more Metroidvanias than physical copies of games out on the Switch. But so I wasn't like super hyped up into like going into this, and also I kind of thought when we saw it in the direct, I wasn't super into the art style.
Yeah.
But man, once you start playing that game, the actual art style actually works really well, and you actually get like really into it. And mate, it was fantastic. Like it was literally the best Metroidvania game I've played since Dig 2, maybe.
Yeah, that's good to hear because that's like the one thing putting me off is the art style, like the weird like 2.5D graphics. I'm kind of a bit meh but.
It kind of made me. This is really weird. This is like the first time this has actually happened. It made me like nostalgic for like PS3. Yeah. Like the PS3 is not really that long ago, but kind of like early PS3 kind of games.
Yeah.
Like it's really nice, and it runs. Well, I mean, we was playing it on a PC, but like, it's not that graphically intensive, right? So it's not gonna.
No, like I think they were. I don't know if they still are, but they were going to release it on the PS Vita. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by that one as well. I really wasn't looking forward to it. Like I wasn't not looking forward to it, but I wasn't like excited about playing it.
Yeah.
It didn't look like my cup of tea at all. No, but it really. Yeah, really kind of gripped me. I'm quite looking forward to it now.
I think people played the Switch version at PAX a couple of weeks ago and said it wasn't performing very well. But I mean, I was watching. I didn't actually get to play it at EGX. I was watching over someone's shoulder.
Oh, it's actually quite responsive when you actually like we played at the end of the day, because we obviously weren't like super like into it, or we didn't think we'd be into it. So we went at the end of the day, and we both played it for about like 20 minutes. We were on, like I played the demo was pretty long, and I played it all the way through, and like was properly exploring kind of like Metroid style. And I stopped just before the boss because I kind of wanted to actually play it when it comes out. So I was like, I wanted to like leave a little bit for that, but it's the actual kind of combat is like, it's not like super quick. It's like quite considered.
Dark Soulsy.
So like you've got like one of the bumper buttons was like a step back, so you could like dodge backwards, which was like really nice. Yeah, and like you said, it was like the attacks, all the weapons were different, so you could like have daggers, and there'll be like a really quick attack, and then like a short sword was like had a bit more range and kind of was like a little bit slower. And then like I found like a claymore which does like a ton of damage, but was a lot slower attack. So I actually switched back to the short sword because like it works better. And like,
preferred it.
Yeah, my play style was kind of a bit more like run in, like do a few jabs, and then kind of like step back, and then maybe like unleash like some magic on them. And that worked pretty well for me. So.
Yeah, when I watched your video of your EGX breakdown, which was very good, by the way. Everyone go to youtube.com/Age of Boredom. I was quite impressed with how far you got into Bloodstained. You're talking about all these weapons and stuff that you found. I was just running around kicking people. I don't think I found any weapons at all. I was like, I thought I was doing really well. And then you basically got to the boss.
Mate, I got like sucked in. That and one other game like really drew me in, and that was kind of I was like, I turned off completely. Anything could have been happening around me, and I was just like in this zone of experimenting with claymores and daggers and whatnot. But it was cool.
So, it was really cool. That's cool. I think that says a lot about it if you're in like a room full of people and you still manage to like zone in on the game and not get distracted by people looking over your shoulder or walking around. It's good. Like I said, I don't know. It was originally like a Kickstarter game, I think, and then there was some like famous designer working on it from Castlevania, the original Castlevania games, and it just seems to have been like stumbling at roadblocks for years and years and years. And now I don't even know if it has a solid release date.
No, it's just summer.
No, it doesn't.
Summer, yeah. And for me, it's kind of like suffered from its own hype, where you just hear about it so often that you're like, okay, just bring it out and let me play it. Like I don't need to see any more of it. But I'm kind of, you're like kind of selling me on it now again. Like, okay, it feels good. There's like a bit of customization to it, and like you said, like I was kind of put off by the graphics. But if you say it kind of has like a style to it, then I think maybe I'll check it out.
Yeah, no, I was totally ready to just kind of hate on this game, and then it properly like grabbed me by the balls, and I was well in. I was like, great, like another game I'm gonna have to buy. Like, cheers.
Another one for the collection. So another game that I think Daft Stridius wants to hear all about is Katana Zero. So Paul, what did you think of Katana Zero?
I think I said in my reports that I went in not expecting much. Everything about it is awesome. Like the pixel work is amazing. Just looks superb. And then like the soundtrack, that sort of went from not very interested to top of my list of probably one of the best games I played.
Awesome.
How good do you have to be at it? Like, it looks really nice, but what scares me is that it looks like you need like a high level of skill to play that game.
Yeah. It's super hard. But I mean, the good thing is you almost have to like. You don't even have to learn the attack patterns, because the guys they start off pretty much in the same place, but it's not wait for someone to get to that door, take the door down, throw this at that person, jump up there and sort of kill them, slow motion a bullet back that way. So some of the levels that are more complicated you're going to die. But I mean, I hate having to redo things in games. I hate having to redo things over and over and over. Each level probably takes like 5 minutes to clear. But it's so much fun and over and over. It's awesome.
Stop making me want to play more games.
I know it's out next week as well, I think.
Have Devolver Digital published a bad game yet? It feels like everything they put out is just like a must buy.
The only one that I've ever looked at and thought, is that Broforce? But I've never played it.
I've heard good things about that as well.
Yeah, that's really good.
Oh, those gits.
Even this, even like what is it? They've just brought out the Game of Thrones Reigns game, haven't they?
I bought that this afternoon.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that. I really like the first one. It's actually a really good game.
Yeah, it was £3
exactly
on sale,
Yeah.
and I was just
For a couple
like,
of
I said
quid,
to my
it's fun,
girlfriend, I was like she hates games, like it's just not a thing, and I was like, but she likes Game of Thrones, so I was like, so if you imagine Game of Thrones,
Tinder.
But then Tinder, that's exactly what I said. And then she was like, it doesn't sound great, but maybe. And I was like, that's the best I can get. That's like an A+ level of selling it to her.
Yeah. We all strive for a maybe.
Yeah, it's like, I think Reigns, it kind of, like every time I go on a plane, I always feel like I see like at least like 2 people playing either Reigns or Reigns Game of Thrones on their phone. Right. Like I feel like it's kind of like ascended, like gamers into just like being in popular culture, because I think it's just so accessible, and like the games are really quick and really easy to play, and it's a cool game. And then with it being Game of Thrones coming out this week, I feel like the game's gonna sell tons on the Switch.
I mean, it's £3.
If it's only £3. Yeah.
Exactly. I think it's almost near a £4, but it came out on sale, so I was just like,
it's like 15% off at the moment, I think.
Yeah. I was like, why not? Why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like half the price of a coffee in London.
Only the places I take you.
Oh, don't get him started on coffee.
No, let's get him started on something he likes even more. And that is... Oh, no, you know what, Ben? I want to hear you talk about Swim Sanity, because I hear you and Age had a bit of a rivalry going through EGX. So why don't you tell us about Swim Sanity and who won?
Whoa. Not a rivalry. He just cheated.
No.
No.
Yeah.
That's not what I've seen on YouTube.
He beguiled me. And,
no,
he confused me.
Yeah.
It's easy
so
to
we
do.
played. Yeah, it wasn't difficult. Just
change the colour of your character.
It was so what you basically we played 4-player simultaneous. The first game, it's got 8 different game modes, I think. So the first one we played was like a death match, all against all, 4 of us, local multiplayer, and you're just swimming around, and it kind of plays like a twin stick shooter,
right?
And you just basically have to take each other out, and then the winner is the person with the most kills, which was me.
Because no. Basically, there was 4 of us, so there was me and Ben, and then a developer, and then there was like a random 6-year-old. And I was like, you know what? I'm not a scumbag. I'm not gonna just like.
Well,
maybe
you are a
kid.
scumbag because you deliberately picked on the child, thinking that was the key to victory, and now you're trying to make out like you thought it was me. Come on.
No,
poor little Jimmy. He was out for the day.
Yeah,
I thought Ben's the blue one or the red one or whichever one, and then I was like, right, I'm going to target him. I'm not going to target the other guy.
Yeah.
And then it turned out I was just killing the kid over and over again.
And ruined his day.
Why does this kid crying so much? He's doing all right.
Mum, I want to go home. But yeah, it was good, and you get like power ups. So yeah, you're shooting each other, and then if you get a certain item or something like that, I can't remember exactly.
Oh, you get your bar builds up over time.
Yeah, which you have to select at the start. So I had this one that was like a shark that when you unleash it, you can the shark appears at the side of the screen, and then you have to kind of aim it up so that it swims across and then takes out all the other guys. And then the other game mode we played was like a horde mode.
Yeah.
We were all working together to just clear waves and waves of enemies.
They
both
said,
of them really good fun.
They said the highest they got on that weekend was wave 13.
Yeah.
So we came in, we were like, yeah, we're going to smash this. Wave 7, dead.
Yeah. Not bad.
And is it just couch co-op or is it online multiplayer?
No, it's got online.
All online,
nice.
And it's got built-in voice chat as well. They've used
the
developer kit. I assume it's the same one as Fortnite, because a month or 2 ago they've made that kind of open
they
to
released
everyone.
it, right? Yeah.
So yeah, they're really happy with that.
Cool. Yeah, it was one of those games I thought, I don't know if this is going to be shovelware or not. And then, actually, when you start playing it, like the animations and the character design is like really well done, and it looks really nice, and it was super addictive. And when they said, "Oh, this is online as well," I was like, "Oh, actually, I reckon you could probably get a couple of people to get this, and then actually you could." Actually make this like a kind of like an online game that like a group of friends would actually play. Like,
and the devs were super friendly, super helpful. I hope we get a review code for that.
2 brothers or something.
Yeah, it's just 2 brothers. And they said they've been doing it for like 9 years from like conception to actual and delivery.
I think it's been in development for 3 years. They said, didn't they? But they've been kind of planning it out for 9 years, which is
playing an underwater level of Mario though. That's what's putting me off it.
Do you know what? I think that's what will put a lot of people off. People think underwater. I don't like playing the underwater levels, but it didn't really. You could have been anywhere. You could have been floating in space. The water. I don't think the water really. It's just a theme. It doesn't really affect. Exactly.
Yeah, it was kind of just like you could have been like a spaceship.
Yeah,
but
it's great for reviews because you can just put in as many kind of fish and sea based puns as you like. So I'm going to look forward to reviewing that one.
Yeah, I got to say I was a little bit salty that I lost that one.
That you that you got battered.
Good. And
right.
was there
Adam, you've turned into a robot again.
Okay. Then could you two talk about Castle Crashers?
It's still bad, mate.
Yeah. Castle Crashers was very, very good. Is that...
I've never played it before, like ever, and it's been out about 30 years, hasn't it? It came out on like the Atari
ST
2600 or something.
Yeah.
But we had a 4-player game, and it's always fun when you can like sort of rib someone on the couch. But yeah, it was quite surprising. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, how long did it take you to work that out? Because we were there.
About 5. It was all like running around for like 5 minutes.
And like, can we knock this gate down? Doesn't seem to be doing anything. Yeah.
The embarrassing
come out of that one in that one.
The embarrassing thing about that is we couldn't work that out, but I actually played this game when it released on Xbox 360. So it was 10 years ago.
Yeah,
but
you've had a lot of coffee since then. That's really
wrecked brain cells.
Exactly.
What is quite funny, when I was editing the video, like was looking back at the Castle Crashers footage, and actually, Paul, you're like just standing next to us, and we didn't realise you were there.
Oh no, yeah, I said yeah.
Small world.
That's weird.
So that's slightly embarrassing, and
you guys.
Or maybe we were just being rude. Or
maybe he was trying to avoid
these guys.
We were like, there's Paul. That's just that's
duck down.
It's too early.
But I saw your interview, Ben, and you said that they managed to get it running at 60 frames.
Yeah,
which I think is
I'm not sure if that's
pretty impossible, but incredible, not impossible.
Yeah, like really smooth, really like. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a day one for me. I think.
Same.
It just looks like the sort of pretty simple, but just good fun. Just good, honest fun, and similar to Swim Sanity's, just a colourful game, family friendly. So yeah.
I think it'll be
excited about that.
They're really coy about the date as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
So it could be any time, but again, like you see these games, like it look really polished to me, and sort of
to us mere mortals, it just looks like, mate, just give it to me now. It's fine.
just upload it. Yeah, it's finished. Do it.
Yeah. It's the reoccurring theme of the whole weekend was just summer. We basically want to see when all the other
that's what I was going to say.
Big indie games are coming out, and then we're going to do it the week before.
Yeah.
Do you know what? That must be a massive part of it, because obviously with everything coming to the eShop now, it's so crucial that you release at the right time.
Yeah. So everyone strap in and get ready for a long ride, because Stevie, I wanted you to talk about Inmost.
It was good.
Okay, good.
Thanks.
This is another game.
I was going to take a toilet break then. Come on.
It's another one. It was a bit like Swim Sanity, I think, when we were talking about it, Paul, for the indie showcase, where we were both kind of a bit like, it looks interesting, but
I can't remember it, to be honest. I'm going to have a look at it.
Yeah, it's like kind of like a horror.
Oh yeah, that was really
like,
it was like really
2D
slow moving.
pixel.
Really slow. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a like puzzle platformer, and
Yeah.
it's like really slow and deliberate. Well, you basically have three characters. You're a little girl, an old man, and then like a normal age guy, like a middle-aged guy.
Right.
A man.
Yeah. Just a man.
Yeah.
Just a man. And basically, the demo kept flicking between like the three characters. So you start off as your little girl, and you're in bed, and then you need to kind of like basically get out of your room. So there's like a little bit of a puzzle on how you do that. I won't spoil it, so people can play it. And then once you get out, it kind of flicks to like the man, and then you're like in this park, and it's a bit weird, and like lightning's happening, and when the lightning's like flashing, you're seeing these kind of like weird shadows in the background, and it's all a bit creepy. And like the art style is very like monochromatic, kind of like dark, sort of like desaturated greens, but mostly kind of like black and white. And then you've got like the sound design is like the lightning sounds like super realistic, and like the music's like really kind of foreboding, like piano music. Yeah, it like really sucks you in, and I think I played it for about like 15 minutes or so, and I literally, I was like fully locked in. Like, I think Ben was trying to talk to me. I had the headphones on, and literally no idea what he was saying.
Yeah, I thought I'd lost you for the day. You were like in a trance.
Yeah, no, I was like fully locked in. But no, it was excellent. Like the small portion I played of the game, it's going to be a day one for me. It's
nice.
It's just so good. There's like lots of little puzzles where it's got like a nice little hint system. So if you like after a little while, it kind of like does a little glint on the thing that you need to do. So you kind of be like, oh, okay, I need to like use that chair, or like that item there. I need to maybe like move that or something. And you do die, and sometimes like you have to die like to move an enemy to a certain position, so then you can get around them.
Yeah.
But oh no, you don't really. Well, at the bit I played, it's just you're the man for that bit.
Okay, all right.
And then when you get to like a certain section, like the level kind of like almost like transforms, and it does it in like this really kind of arty way. Then all of a sudden you're like where the little girl is, and like in a completely different part.
Yeah.
Of like, but it just kind of does it in a way where it's just like a really smooth transition. But
Nice.
no, it was fantastic. I mean, I'm really not a horror gamer, but it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. It's not like, Outlast where it looks like realistic and you've got like people jumping out, or it didn't in the demo anyway. But yeah, it's definitely like foreboding. I guess it's kind of it's definitely sweaty palm game.
Yeah, and it's published by Chucklefish.
Yeah.
So
I think it's Hidden Layers.
Yeah, where that's some Eastern European country. They said I can't remember where exactly.
Yeah, but it's kind of cool. There's definitely some pedigree behind Chucklefish's name right now. Like, what's the game they got out on Steam at the minute? It's getting like, I think it's number one, gone straight to number one.
Pathways.
Pathways, yeah.
That looks amazing.
Yeah,
looks very. They'd be like Devolver Digital, aren't they? I don't think they've released a bad game. That and
just like
Wargroove and
no.
Stardew Valley. Yeah,
no, true. Well, Stardew Valley.
Yeah, Stardew Valley. The only one. Did you ever play Starbound back in the day? Which was like another.
They're still supporting.
Yeah, but it was like one of those games that I'm surprised it's not on the Switch or anywhere else. Like it seems to be just on.
I thought I heard it was coming on the Switch.
Maybe.
We were talking to them about. Well, just like we spoke to them for quite a while, and they were saying that they were hiring like new developers to get them on Starbound, so that like the existing developers could then go on to do new things, because they've been making Starbound for like 6 or 7 years.
Yeah, for years.
Starbound's been out for like 6 years now or something. Like, so they could then like stretch their legs on like a new project, but then because the player base is so active on Starbound, they can kind of keep those people happy as well.
Yeah.
Which is like an awesome thing to do as a developer, as like an employer.
Yeah, they seem like a really cool company, the Chucklefish. Then should we talk quickly about Cuphead, and then we'll let Stevie go on another rant about Dicey Dungeon. So did all of you play Cuphead? Or just you?
We did. We all played together. In fact,
did you?
I think we all.
We did actually. Yeah,
at one point.
all rubbish.
Yeah. No, you're doing yourself a disservice, Paul. You were pretty decent at it compared to us two.
Yeah, actually, you two were the kind of best tandem.
Yeah, we got
board,
furthest, didn't we? But yeah, great.
We played it with Nintendo as well.
Yeah.
He was rubbish though.
He was rubbish, wasn't he?
But how did it seem to run? Did it look alright on the Switch? No, like noticeable.
Yeah, amazing.
It looked kind of like a really old cartoon.
Yeah, they could have updated it.
Yeah, the animation looked like
the remastered version.
Just like Yeah, they should do like like Disney's doing all the live action remakes. Just do that.
God, that'd be like a horror.
All that jazz music was getting on my nerves.
Yeah.
Ugh. No, it was phenomenal. I really enjoyed it. That's the first time I've ever played Cuphead, and you hear all the hype, and it played like a dream. Ran really smooth. I didn't see any sort of technical issues with it whatsoever. Another day one, easy, especially at the price. Was it like 16 quid?
Nice.
Yeah, sign me up.
Yes. Do you want me to do my the same pun that I've used everywhere?
Go on then. Spoilers.
Not my.
So what did you?
Not my cup of tea, mate.
Be more on brand if you said it wasn't my cup of coffee.
Shush.
And then Age of Boredom, take us out of our EGX talk with your thoughts on Dicey Dungeon, because you've been preaching from the rafters about how good this game is and why we should all play it.
Oh mate, if you're excited about Slay the Spire, then this is the kind of like noob version of Slay the Spire.
Okay.
It's essentially
isn't
like,
everything.
Yeah, actually, yeah, everything's the noob. That Call of Duty, Apex Legends, noobs Slay the Spire.
Cuphead.
That's just rubbish. Sorry. I'll just punch the mic a little bit there. No, it's kind of like a roguelike game where you advance through a dungeon.
Yeah.
But all the mechanics are dice related.
Mm-hmm.
So I played the demo, and then I bought it on itch.io because it's in alpha at the moment.
Yeah.
So I've been playing that on I've been playing on my Mac, weirdly. So I've been playing like the alpha version, but essentially I picked the easiest character, who's like a warrior, and is like more basic attacks and that kind of stuff. And what you do is, oh my god, there's a cat.
Yeah, I can hear it purring.
I'm just like, what the hell is that noise?
Well, all I could see, like for the audio listeners, all I could see was Ben's hand doing these weird motions. I was like, is he okay? Because he's wearing a black t-shirt, he has a black background, and then there's a black cat sat on him. But all I could see with the hands like clawing up. I was like, oh my god, what's happening?
I was like, who's making that weird noise? Oh no, it's just actually
Ben appears
a cat.
to be stroking himself, and I can hear a strange noise.
I'm like, oh, these mechanics, and then I'm like, I can't think. I'm hearing this weird purring.
Sorry.
I thought I was having a stroke.
Yeah.
I'll leave you to it, and I'll just put the cat out. I'll be back in a second.
All right. So did you ask them?
Dungeon.
Did you ask them the all important question? When is it coming to Switch? When is it coming to Switch?
I did.
Yeah.
He said,
because I think everyone that went up there asked her if it was coming to Switch, and she was like, yes, probably.
Oh, that's not what they said to me. I spoke to the dudes, and he was like, maybe not, because I'd want it to be like really, like they're doing it on mobile, or thinking about adding it to mobile, but they were kind of like, they want it to be like really tactile, and they don't think it would work well with a controller. But I actually think it would work well with a controller, because essentially you roll dice, or like the dice roll at the start of a round, and then you basically have different weapons. So I probably should explain what you do in it.
Yeah.
So if you're a warrior, you have like a sword, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what will happen is you'll have 2 dice that roll, and then you drag whichever dice you want onto that weapon, and then the sword will say it does 1d6 worth of damage. So whatever you roll on a dice, that's how much damage it will do. But then you can pick up new equipment as you go along.
Yeah.
So you could have a battle axe, which will do, if you roll between 1 and 4, it will do that damage twice. But it won't do any damage if you roll a 5 and 6.
Mm-hmm.
So it is generally like a pretty good weapon, because you can do a maximum of 8 damage, which is more than a sword, right?
Right.
So you can attack with your sword and attack with your axe. So if you roll 2 dice and you get like a 5 and a 4, then you stick the 4 on the battle axe, and then you stick the 5 on the sword.
Yeah.
And then if you're a warrior, you have what's called a combat roll, which allows you to re-roll a dice.
Yeah.
So if you've got like a dice that rolls 1, you can just drag that onto there, and it will re-roll it, and then you have like that each turn. So you can, it helps you a little bit.
Yeah.
But with like other characters, they don't have that ability. They'll have like a different ability. But because you're like dragging dice, like it would work touchscreen. But I think they were thinking about dock mode. But I still think actually it would work quite well with the gamepad. Like I don't think it would be too clunky. If you're using a D-pad, it'd be fine.
But is it kind of like Slay the Spire where you have like a tree of enemies you have to get to a boss, or is it you literally just working your way through a dungeon?
Yeah, pretty much. So you only see the floor you're on, and the floors are a lot smaller. A dungeon has about maybe like 5 floors.
Okay.
And then you get to a boss at the end, and then you should beat that boss. Cool. Like you've done it. But no, it's really cool. It's like the art style is like super colourful and super playful.
Yeah, it looks very cartoony. Yeah, which I like.
Yeah, the music's great. No, it's just like a really fun game, and I got it on itch.io for like $10 with like a tip to the developer.
Yeah.
So it's perfect for like a 20 minutes playthrough.
Yeah.
It's like super quick.
Yeah.
Like Slay the Spire, you can have a game and it go on for like quite a while. Well, it does for me because I'm quite new to it, so I'm trying to learn what all the cards do. So it takes a while. Whereas this, I
just
played
playing with the dice.
My first go. Yeah, it like you can understand how dice work.
Cool. It sounds interesting. Yeah. So that was our conversation portion of the podcast. Thank you all for bearing with us through that. If you have any questions for the guys about EGX, make sure you go to their Twitters. Let's just quickly run through everyone's Twitters. So if you want to ask me anything about EGX, even though I wasn't there, I'm at SwitchedOn. Paul, what's your Twitter? Cool.
Because you are the SwitchedOn.
SwitchedOn, yeah. Yeah.
I like that.
Ben?
Nice. I am at Benji Kong on Twitter, and also at Switch_Island if you want to get assaulted by a whole gang of Switch enthusiasts. And who doesn't?
Yeah, who doesn't? And Age?
I'm Age of Boredom, all one word, because I'm of age and I'm boring.
Okay. And yes, as before we go on to the last section, I should say, I just want to remind you that this podcast is brought to you by SwitchIndieFix.com/Discord. If you want to join the conversation and talk about all things indie on a Nintendo Switch, come over and join the Switch Indie Fix Discord. And our final section is our question section, and we have 3 questions today. The first I'm going to put to Paul, I think. And Paul, Danny, and Mr. Danny Ward 2707 asks, out of all the devs you've met, who would you lost like to have a bevy/beer with? I think he means who would you most like to have a bevy, yeah. And then he says cheers lids, which I think is an inside joke, or it's a typo. I wasn't sure.
He is from Liverpool, so the education system there not great.
We are failing the north.
The northwest, not the northeast. Northeast,
Sorry, Adam.
So yeah,
I don't know. Your spelling of Cuphead in your name is pretty bad.
I was like, I don't remember playing Cuphead.
That's how you spell it in German.
Cuphead. Sorry, derailing this.
So Paul, who would you both like to have a chat with, a beer with, over a chat about indie games with over a beer?
Dev of Hyper Parasite was absolutely brilliant. I don't want to insult him at all, but I don't know if he was like Iranian or something, but he was crazy, but really funny crazy. So yeah, he was.
I don't think that in itself is insulting.
Of course, it's not.
I'm sure he's in the Discord.
I think he's like Twitter handles
when
like
you said
and he just he was really fun. So definitely him.
Okay,
awesome. And what about you, Ben?
Do you know what? Everyone was so nice. I really enjoyed talking to Graham from Devolver Digital. Lovely Scottish bloke. Good laugh. Could imagine having a beer or a whiskey with him. All the guys from Chucklefish were lovely as well. The two guys from what were they? Decoy Games, Swim Sanity devs, lovely chaps.
They were top blokes.
Just get them all in the room. Have a beer with all of them.
Yeah,
have a party.
Party.
Yeah, and play some Swim Sanity together. Yeah, that was kind of like the thing looking on via Twitter, where I was like, this looks like, it just looks like everyone had a good time at EGX. Like, there was like people meeting up, people doing content together, playing games together. Like, it seemed like a really cool venue to have it, even though I heard it was pretty cold there.
It was a good temperature for moving around all day.
Oh, was it?
I think it was just about right. Yeah.
But yeah,
it was a cool building.
Yeah, it looked really cool. It looked like a good event. So the next question is specifically for Age of Boredom, and it comes from Dave, who drives the 1A to Langley, and he asks, where did Age of Boredom get such a fine woolen garment?
The 1A, not the A1 then.
The 1A.
1A again.
Yeah.
This might be the same person that was typing bad typos a minute ago, so we don't know.
That sounds like Nintendad to me. I'm sure he does. He goes under that alias.
Okay.
But anyway.
Isn't that a well-known dog in the spot?
It probably is, yeah.
Where do I get such?
So where is it?
Fine.
Where is it tonight? Because he's not wearing it tonight whilst we record.
I can go put it on if you like. Probably why I've been having.
No.
Didn't you?
We're recording video anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Didn't you say you robbed a fisherman, a trawlerman for your hat? Is that?
It was Steve Zissou. Yeah, I mugged him. Yeah, basically beat up Bill Murray, nicked his hat. Now it's mine.
Yeah.
Yep.
What a lovely hat.
Oh, it's lovely.
And the last, I guess, more serious question comes from Rich, which I guess is probably Rich, Dreamcast Barber. And he asked, did you guys play any sort of Ditto, of the sort of Ditto update? It's a free update, or is it a free update or a new SKU? I haven't played it. Did any of you play?
Nope.
I don't think it's on Switch yet, right? So I don't know if he was referring to EGX, if it was there.
It was there. We walked past it, but it was the Devolver Digital room when we went through was absolutely rammed. So we actually,
I can imagine.
we kind of went in and spoke to Graham, and then I stood next to Pedro for quite a long time, waiting for the guy to get off, and then he never. So we went and did an interview instead. So. Yeah.
But no, I'm afraid we don't have an answer to that. I do, however, have one question of my own, if that's all right, Adam.
Oh, okay, of course. Ask away.
What I was thinking was, what factors do you take into account when you're buying a game, like an indie game, like other than like price and reviews and stuff? Because I was looking on the eShop yesterday, as I do every day, and I was thinking, all right, that looks like it's a good price, but then I found myself looking at like the size of the file and things like that. Is this stuff like other people take into account? Like, oh, that's 18 gig. Oh, might not.
My game's bigger than yours.
Yeah, exactly. But does this go through other people's minds? I suppose, like those considerations.
No.
Or am I just mental? Okay, I'm just mental. Okay, fine.
The only thing sometimes I look at and it puts me off a game on the eShop is if I read the description and it's like the grammar's incorrect and there's like typos in it and stuff, because I kind of feel like, okay, if your description is not properly written, then I can't imagine what your game is going to be like. Yeah, that's true. But like a blast from the past. I used to have a section on, and I should keep doing it, but I used to have a section on the podcast called That Bad eShop Description. And I would read out some of the really bad ones because some of them you could just tell, it was usually Japanese games, where they'd obviously just put in the Japanese into Google Translate and it kind of spat out like a hat.
I did a little bit of research, and it's not actually Google Translate. They just got Danny Ward 2707 to do them.
It just does it on the side, just for fun. But yeah, other than that, the only thing is time. Like if I'm looking at a game and I'm like, okay, I want to review it, but it's 30 or 40 hours and it's not a game that I like really, really want to play, then I'm like, well, I'm probably not going to buy it.
Yeah, that's the other thing I take into account. Check on how long to see how big the file size is. Check on how long to beat. Yeah. if they're not both ticking the boxes, then it's a no-go.
Yeah.
And also, if the icon's rubbish.
Oh god, that's
what I was
a
gonna ask you.
icon.
Oh, I do not want a rubbish icon on my screen.
Yeah.
Like all those hamster arcade archives ones. There's a few of them I genuinely like, but all the icons look awful. So I can't bring myself to buy them, which is ridiculous, I know. But with so many games coming out, I think you've got to be selective about these things.
I think recently I've been, like How Long to Beat I check out. And actually with file size, I do, on the PlayStation, I check that, but only because it seems like PlayStation games are so big that your hard drive's like filled up with like 3 games on there. So like with a Switch game, you can usually like stick, as long as you've got like an SD card, you can put like tons of games. You have like 60 games on there. It's like no issue.
Yeah.
File size is annoying, and then you can get like a really good game that's like 200 meg. Like I think Wargroove's like about 300 meg.
Yeah. That is kind of weird.
Yeah.
All right, so you all mocked me, but you actually all do check that, so that's fine. That's reassuring.
Yeah, I guess we all have our like little weird quirks that we kind of our own little tick boxes to tick when we buy games.
I have been looking a lot recently on like Humble Bundle or like Twitch or like that kind of thing. Like you end up getting like a lot of kind of some of the same games on PC really cheap or free. So I've been kind of just checking out some of that stuff like recently, just in case, because if like you go to Humble Bundle and you get you get access to their kind of like trove or whatever it's called, where it's like 60 games is in there, or if you're like got Discord Nitro,
the subscription service or whatever it is.
Yeah, like if you've got Discord Nitro, there's like a ton of games in there. Like I actually bought BioShock Remastered the other day, and then looked online, and for the same price I could have got Nitro, and then had like that and like a bunch of other games that I recently bought on PC as well, and then I was like, should have just. So I've started to check like those things a little bit more, because there's a lot of Switch games actually on, like they're giving away with Switch. Also not Switch, get like games that are on the Switch but also on PC, because like that
the PC versions,
A King's Bird, is that what it's called? That came out like quite recently, but that like literally like a week later came on Twitch. So I noticed that a lot of games become free on PC at the same time they come out on Switch, which kind of like stops me buying them on Switch, because I'm like, I don't want to spend £15 when I can get it for free, or like a £5.
Savvy shopper.
Which before I would have just kind of been happy to spend like £15, but it just seems like kind of odd that they would
if
do it
you
at the same
play
time.
on your if you have like, because I'm the same. Like I've been collecting the Twitch Prime games for like a year, but I never played them. So I'm like, I never play on my Mac. So I'm like, okay, maybe one day when I get a PC or a laptop that can run the games a bit better than my Mac can, then it's like, okay, then I've got like this massive library to play when that happens. But right now I'm like, okay, you know, if like Steam World Quest was coming out on Twitch Prime day and date for free, like I'd still download the free version or redeem the free version of Steam World Quest, but I think I'd still buy the Switch version for the €25 or whatever it is, because it's like, okay, yeah, maybe I will play it in a year and a half's time, but I still want to play like it right now. On the Switch, if you know what I mean. Yeah,
so I think that's a game I would definitely buy on the Switch still anyway, even if it was like a tenner cheaper on the PC. I'd still buy it on the Switch, because that's something I want to play on the Switch. But there's a lot of games where I'm kind of like, oh, do I want to buy it? Like, you know, I'm not that bothered if I play it on the Switch or if I play it on PC. Like I almost bought Gungeon on the PC until I realised today that it was like a £5 or
it's half price.
50% off.
And they've just updated that, haven't they? Or there was an update.
DLC.
Farewell to Arms update.
Yeah.
So I picked that up today just because like it was like a £5 and
it's a banger.
Yeah, I bought it like 2 weeks ago and it was only 15% off. So now I'm a bit like,
oh, that's the worst.
If I'd waited, but I'm kind of like, the game. I think it's $14.99 full price. So I'm like, it's worth 15 euros anyway.
Easily,
so whatever.
Easily.
But
yeah,
so
it sucks.
But yeah, so I think that will do it for this week's episode. Thank you all for listening, and I want to thank all the guys for joining me as well. It was really cool having you on. Like I say, it was a bit more of a fast and loose episode, but I've enjoyed having you all on. So let's just go around the table, and you guys can tell the listeners where they can find you. Let's start with Age of Boredom went last time, so he can go first this time. So where can our listeners find you if they don't know already?
So I'm Age of Boredom on YouTube, and if you want hot takes on physical media or slagging off platformers, then I'm Age of Boredom on Twitter as well.
Great. And Ben?
I am Benji Kong on Twitter. And I also do a load of stuff for Switch Island. So if you like Adam's podcast and you haven't checked out Switch Island, we have a couple of podcasts of our own. We have a website, switchisland.co.uk, and we bang up a bit of YouTube content at youtube.com/theswitchisland.
There's plenty of EGX interviews.
Yeah, loads of EGX stuff
really
up
good
there.
ones, good unboxings on the YouTube. I feel like your YouTube channel's like off. I like it.
Yeah, we've really started trying to, put some effort and impetus into that since the start of this year. So hopefully that's showing. And yeah, we've got a Discord of our own, friendly. And what else? Yeah, I'm also writing for Switch Player magazine. Speaking of physical media, I'll be writing for them from their next issue, which comes out next month, issue 28. So I'll have a review in there, maybe a little feature or something. So yeah, check me out there. Occasionally on NintendoWorldReport.com as well, dropping a few reviews on there. So
he's everywhere.
I'm everywhere.
He is everywhere.
I'm a slag.
Like a bad rash, it just doesn't go away.
All over the place.
Exactly.
And Paul, where can the listeners find you?
Yeah, SwitchedOn on YouTube, and switchedon.games is my website.
Awesome.
All niche games that come out that people seem to be interested in. So
yeah, I always enjoy, because I feel like you pick up the games that I kind of see but never really think about, and then check out your review, and I'm like, okay, that was like a good review. Now I'm kind of interested not interested in picking up this game. So yeah, definitely go check out Switch.
Yeah, not interested in Xenon Racer.
Yeah, definitely go and look at your. Everyone should go watch your Xenon Racer video. I felt like that's like the first a bit of journalism I've seen on at least my YouTube Switch people that I've seen in a long time. You kind of went into in depth and kind of showed off the differences and kind of called them out, which I thought was really, really cool of you.
Yeah, call them out. Call them all out.
Do you want me to call out some more people on my YouTube, Adam?
As long as it's just Danny Ward, then yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just call him out always.
No British people in Austria. All right.
No. Don't know who you're talking about. Good. So, again, thank you all for listening. The podcast will go up on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube as soon as I can after the show, after I've tried to edit it all together and bleeped out all the swear words that I said. And if you can, please make sure you review it wherever you can, because that always helps with new people finding the podcast. Just, again, a reminder, if you want to get in contact with me, hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at SwitchIndieFix, or join the Switch IndieFix Discord server at switchindiefix.com. And yeah, if you want to hear or read some of my reviews or some of our co-writer reviews, make sure you go to switchindiefix.com. My latest review was Cook Serve Delicious 2. So if you want to learn a bit more about a game that's kind of like Cooking Mama, then that's there for you too. So again, thanks guys for joining me, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
It is.